I've never hate watched Americas, you know, famously a very big Americas lover.
Let's do the next thing.
Yeah, and before we get into today's first matchup, we're going to test your knowledge of our Toronto pros and play Who's That? Can I get a Who's That?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that?
No, an Who's That?
Who's that?
Yeah, that's
Who's
actually
that?
an amazing British accent.
Oh, that was supposed to be British?
Yeah.
If you wanted me to do a British impression, you should have said that.
Okay, Mel is going to do the next segment in just entirely in British, okay?
Alright.
This is what we're doing.
We're getting some new America's hate watchers for this segment, I see.
Alright, we've got a few trivia questions and the answer is right in front of us in the collage of players. I'm going to throw the first question at you, Ender and Mel. The only player at this event who subbed into his first Tier 1 stage and qualified for a global event.
Alright, I mean, it
sounds like me.
Take a look here. It's like, I mean, you've got to go apartment here, no? Or is that, am I mixing it up with someone? Let me think.
Are we counting
good.
Patman as a sub in?
I don't know,
Because he's like he's on the
change,
roster,
innit?
you know.
Okay, now we're
I
just making
actually
me
can.
laughing stock of the desk. Alright.
Yeah, my American accent is horrible, so I can't do a swap here. But final answer. I'm gonna rush you. I'm gonna you.
I'm gonna lock in Batman.
I mean, I guess we're
maybe
going
not
Patman, but
exactly, but
All
I
right,
feel like that's wrong.
all right. Patman locked in. Let's reveal who it was. It was Patman. Congratulations.
I know ball.
Well,
She does know ball. The ball. I like the ball pronunciation. Next one. This player is the only member of his team who qualified for all 3 global events in 2024.
2024.
I feel like this is a straightforward one.
well,
Yeah,
it's
go on.
not Sen.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I have
That
to
I
break
know
character
for
with that.
sure.
That was messed up.
It's not Wolves, not Billy.
It's not Paper Rex, is it?
Yeah.
So where's this? Our
Process
maybe
of
we don't know
elimination?
ball.
Is it just Nats?
Process
That's
of
too obvious.
elimination.
Did Team Liquid make all 3 global events last year?
I'm not allowed to. There's no phone a friend.
Wait, you're
Oh,
not
you
allowed
wanna
to
phone
go
the
out?
audience?
audience?
help?
You want to phone the audience?
I mean,
don't know
I'll
if the
go
audience
Nats,
knows.
sure.
I'll go. I mean, Nats. I feel like you kind of have to.
That's our go. Oh, Sue didn't like that answer.
All right, you guys, that is horrific. Nats didn't qualify for a single global event last year.
Oh my
He missed
God,
all
that is
3.
That was like the
So,
point. That is
yeah.
actually
That's
that.
awesome.
And you know,
Okay.
he even spoke about it. He's like, if I don't qualify for the first one, I will not qualify for any of them.
Okay, in my
Yeah.
head canon, I'm such a bias for Nats.
No,
I
that's so real.
inserted him in my head into all of the global
Yeah,
events last
and
year.
to-
I made it
To
happen.
be fair, Lystor wasn't on Wolves, so, you know,
Yeah,
I forgive you. Last one, who's that? The only imported IGL.
QT.
Yeah, that one's obvious.
Easy clap.
Yep, it's
In a row.
really...
Shout out Morocco.
Yeah, shout out the fact that we claim him.
We really do.
Sentinels
We really
is
do.
an EMEA team. I don't think if you
Oh,
realized.
Okay.
Yeah. We claim
wasn't going-
Sen.
Okay, sorry.
That.
You can't go from hate watching Sentinels to now
I have
being their biggest
never-
fan and claiming them.
I have never hate watched Sen.
Okay, yeah,
That is
sure.
a lie.
It's
That's
because
crazy.
it's because they're an EMEA team. You know,
You
like
literally voted for Wolves in the opener. What are you talking
that's
about?
not a hate thing. That's just having eyes. But yeah,
They
so
lost.
are we locking in John QT? We've
Yeah,
locked in
of
John
course.
QT.
Yes.
Yeah, let's take a look at the best IGL in Americas who's from EMEA. Oh,
Wait.
Are we
Wait,
not
what?
counting
Wait,
John
I'm
QT?
sorry.
Wait.
That is
Hold up.
outrageous.
I have a bone to pick here. That cannot be real.
That
Flag
is
on the play.
outrageous. We're not counting John
Ref,
QT.
do something. Like, that's not correct.
All right, we're gonna the end of day production meeting. We're gonna have a lot of notes. We're gonna be
Let's just
bringing
say
a lot of
that.
notes after that. But yes, if all of that doesn't really convince you to be a fan of the spiel we had earlier of Billy, perhaps this will. Neff and K9 were not shy to express some of their opinions. Check out what they had to say in this game of Agree to Disagree. Welcome to Agree to Disagree, the segment where we put bold statements to our players and they have to pick a side. I am joined today by K9 and Neff from Billy, and they're here to do some translations as well. I'm just going to jump straight into this because I think we're going to get some juicy answers out of you guys. First statement, agree to disagree. Tejo will not be played this tournament.
太湖在这次世界赛不会出现，同意还是不同意？
Oh, you both agree. Why? Do you think that it's really, the nerf was a big deal, Neff, that we won't see Tejo?
I think that with the nerfs compared to last patch, like I mean, Taeho in the past was like very good in post plants and taking map control, but now that it's reduced to like only 2 missiles for the whole round, I think it's definitely unplayable. And with Fracture being out of the pool, it's definitely not going to be played this event, I think.
And for you, K9, do you like that? Do you like the fact that we might not see a lot of Taeho?
你觉得这是件好事吗？就是在世界赛上，可能太湖的出现会变少了。
我觉得是一件好事吧，因为确实对于队伍来说，或者对于选手来说，比较考验你有没有新的阵容和打法，能在这个世界赛上表现出来吧。
I think it's a good thing because it's always a good thing for all the teams and players involved this international event to show some different comps, to pick different comps to show different things.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see. Now, next one, of course, you guys know, EDG did not make it. So it proves that this time around that CN is not a one-team region.
同意还是不同意 ？CN 不是一个一枝独秀的赛区。
I love to see that. I love to see that. And of course, you guys did make it this time around. So, Neff, what can the fans expect, from some of the players and teams that they haven't seen before from DCTCN?
I think that the rest of the teams in this tournament, haven't faced any of us yet. Prior to, because previous tournaments only has EDG, right? And then for us, there's 3 new faces. I think that they should be quite excited, I guess, because we are definitely bringing a new style of gameplay that they probably might not have seen before compared to the other 3 regions. And I think that we'll put up a good show this tournament, yeah.
And K9, Crashies did make it this time, and you've given him some nightmares in the past. So how do you feel about going up against some players that you have played against before?
这一次 Crashes 也来到了世界赛嘛，然后之前你们是击败过他，给了他们像噩梦一样的体验。那这一次再遇到他，有什么样的感想？
我觉得 Crashes 选对了大腿吧，拉伤了大腿。
Crashes is only get someone to carry him.
Oh, I really hope we get this matchup. Okay, all right. I'm glad you gave me a little bit of trash talk because this links into my next question, which is trash talking makes this game more fun. Do you agree or disagree?
你觉得说垃圾话会让游戏更加有趣吗？同意还是不同意？
Okay. I mean, K9, I think you're a bit of a trash talker already from what I just heard. Would you agree with that? You like to trash talk personally?
你觉得自己是一个喜欢说垃圾话的人吗？因为刚刚你已经放出了一些狠话了。
那我觉得我算是一个比较喜欢有这种互动的人吧。
Kind of.
Yeah.
So I like to interact with other players.
And Neff, how about you? Are you a trash talker?
Personally, I don't think that I'm like a trash talker, but I think before I was a pro player, I think like as a fan watching, I think the trash talk just makes the games like more fun and more entertaining for the fans. And I think that trash talking in this game, I mean, it's all just in the game, right? I mean, outside of game, everyone is just good friends and competitors. So I think it's all just no hard feelings when we trash talk, yeah.
Makes it more interesting. I mean, K9 is going to do the trash talking for you. Don't worry about that. So thank you very much for joining me. And thank you, Vera, for the translations. And good luck.
All right, thank you.
谢谢。
They have every right to trash talk ahead of today's game because Mel, they've already taken down Wolves pretty recently in stage 1.
I mean, if anything, though, that's going to get Wolves fired up to get on their stage. I mean, we've seen their energy at this event versus Sentinels. I think we can really look at the stage here for a lot of trash talk.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're looking at that last matchup, like, yes, it was a 3-0 for BLG in a best of 5 lower final, right? But previously, before that, Wolves did get the upper hand the last time they actually played a best of 3. That was a 2-0 series for them, so it's not so one-sided, I think, as that last series indicates.
Yeah, and all-time record is a 4-2, but different rosters, different players, so on and so forth. But this stage is going to be very different, Mel. You know this. It doesn't matter how many times you face off against each other regionally. There's just something about the global stage that makes these players play differently.
And what it is about the global stage is the chance that opportunities you get to play against other teams that aren't from your region. You can learn so much, and it can give you a new perspective on the game, things that you aren't used to seeing, and problem solving for those things that can prove really actionable and really useful when you do rematch against your domestic opponents.
For sure, and coming into this rematch now, I think that Wolves have actually fixed a lot of the issues that were plaguing them in that 0-3 loss versus BLG. Playing a lot of these slow rounds, which we have seen, but they were really struggling working against the clock. look. I also don't think Juicy was playing to his normal capability. A lot of his walk-up lurks were just being hard read from BLG. He's played a lot better here on the Masters stage, so I don't think this is going to be anything close to a 3-0 type situation.
Yeah, and Bilibili is not the same Bilibili as before. We see some familiar faces, but they're looking really, really solid. Both of these teams, in fact, have already surprised us.
Yeah, and I feel like we kind of have to owe a lot of it to the coaching on Bilibili, right? I feel like he has really done a lot for this team, and I can notice a lot of strategical improvements from the last time I've seen them on the global stage. So really big shout out to the coaching staff on Bilibili.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to have that coaching staff making sure that their game plans are staying fresh when you're coming into a regional matchup. You've got all these player tendencies that Wolves are going to be aware of, right? When YZ comes out on stage for the first time and is just running down all these teams around the world, that's maybe a little bit less expected. But like you're saying, Wolves are going to be prepared, so they're going to have to keep things fresh.
And how much do you read into both of their games versus Sen, Ender? Because they had to both play against the same team.
I mean, honestly, like, it's hard to say, right? Because I actually think I was very impressed by Wolves even in the 0-2 loss versus Sen. I think both teams put up very similar like performances in terms of actually challenging Sen, especially when it came to Wolves playing their attacking halves versus Sentinels. So even though BLG, you could argue that it was stronger versus Sentinels, I still have them pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of use Sentinels here as a metric just because, you know, we saw Bilibili play them when they had already played Wolves, and I think that kind of shows the first match is always jitters for everyone. And so I do put a lot of stock in that second matchup more than anything, and me personally, I guess I'll lean a little bit more towards Bilibili just because it went the distance.
Yeah, and speaking of that matchup, we actually spoke with K9 about the loss against Sentinels in this Omen player moment.
因为其实这个结果多少还是有一点点低落吧，我觉得对队友有一点点亏欠，有点愧疚吧。然后我觉得是在我们预期之内的吧，今天他们的表现。老白强队其实能想得到他们在进攻的时候的协同，包括控图能打得特别好吧。然后我觉得他们确实在桑塞的这张地图上面的进攻打得让我们有一些措手不及吧。因为其实赛前我有说过，就是在大师赛上证明自己的机会其实不多，我们要珍惜好每一个就是来之不易的机会。我们应该会就是调整好自己的心态，全力就是准备好下一场比赛吧。
That's what BLG are working with in this post plan. John is readying a pop off this flash. Russia moves in. Oh my goodness, again! That is ungodly!
我这一次大师赛确实是他们第一次登场，他们的表现也非常的好吧。然后我身为就是在队伍里待得比他们久的算哥哥吧。然后我觉得不管游戏内游戏外，其实他们的自我调节能力都非常好吧。然后我们整个团队也在一起帮助他们，因为我们其实打到现在，整个队伍其实还没有打到最热的时候吧。所以我觉得真正进入那个状态的时候，我们再看吧。然后我们也是就是想着一起进步嘛，一起打好这个大师赛。
Now, if K9 is the big brother of this squad, YZ is probably the godfather male of Bilibili. I don't think anyone doesn't kind of expect or know what he brings to the squad.
I mean, bro just kind of called him Unk in a way, like a subtweet. But yeah, I mean, this guy, we are familiar with this face now. He's been to several global events and we've seen his aggression. And yet somehow, even though I've seen it several times, I'm still shocked by how much he gets away with. It's like murder.
It's a completely fearless play style, right? He's going to be able to rifle, he's going to be able to use the up. He's like walking forward into tight angles with an operator towards defense spawn and still winning the fights. Come on.
Yeah, and we talk about this every time we see them. You gotta shut him down. And how can he even realistically be shut down?
That's the ultimate question, right? Because when I'm looking at this matchup in front of us, the last time they faced off, YZ was up 17 first kills to 6 first deaths. It was a complete difference in the server. And if we're seeing that similar level of performance, it's a Bilibili run away with it.
Well, let's move on to their opponent, however. Wolves, somebody that has already impressed us as well. And the team, Ender, that eliminated Team Heretics.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from Team Wolves. I think every time they've jumped into the server, I've just loved what I'm seeing from them. Again, they, on their attacking side, like to play a lot of these slower rounds, play a slower macro style that is built around the really powerful individual talent on this team.
It's really a testament to the level of macro they play at to be able to call against an IGL like Boo. Even though Team Heretics doesn't have the most crazy mid-rounds or situations like that, and they do have a lot of firepower, but still, you know, going head-to-head head-to-head, toe-to-toe with that. Someone who's so experienced at calling on the international stage is such a trait.
Yeah, I almost see him as like a mini Nat, you know, the emotional leader, the guy in the front. Of course, that is Sufat, baby, the IGL of Wars. He's been such a standout personality, and Jen Lee managed to catch up with him ahead of this match.
Hello everyone, Jen Lee here with Sufat BB and also Echo for translation. Now Sufat BB, you and Billy, you guys are familiar with each other, so what would it mean for you to be able to beat a fellow CN team to advance to the playoffs?
其实岁费 BB 你们跟 BLG 是非常非常熟悉的对手了。那对于你而言的话，可能要击败你的兄弟队伍，然后去挺过瑞士轮进入到淘汰赛，意味是什么样的呢？
其实我们不管对手是谁，我们都会做好自己，专注好每一把比赛吧。
Actually, no matter who we face, we just want to lock in our game and matchup and try our best to win every matchup.
Okay, lock in. Yeah. Okay, good luck today.
He's definitely going to be locked in, maybe standing up as well, maybe screaming some obscenities on the other side. But two of the lesser, more calm, cool, collected players, and will be Russia and Spring. What a exciting head-to-head.
Oh yeah, these are two of, if not the best smokes players in the Swiss stage so far. A combination of just incredible play, especially from Russia on this Harbor pick on Icebox. It's hard to frag out on Harbor on any map, but he is putting up comparable numbers next to why he's in the server.
It's so fun. You kind of just see him dump all of his util and just become a rifle at that point. He's like, finally, I've been unleashed. I cannot use util anymore. I've done all my waves. Now I can shoot back. And I mean, it's working for him.
Is there one that you think has what it takes to overcome the other? Who do you favor in this matchup, Mel?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is Spring, but we do see him on that lurk role so much, so I'm kind of wanting to look at Russia as like the primary controller, really, and I'm really interested to see what he brings because it's such a close head-to-head. I mean, these stats could not get closer.
No, not at all, but I think the way that they sort of frag out is a little bit different because you're going to see Russia with the team a lot. He's not going to do a lot of lurking, but he's getting like 3Ks consistently. Like, he can dominate a site on a hit, in a post plant, all of these things where Spring, again, way more individual type player, playing the Viper on a lot of maps, so solo anchoring sites, and also going to be very effective on the lurks.
He might be my favorite Harbor player of all time. Is that?
All time?
Yeah, genuinely all time.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty high.
I love his Harbor so much. And of course, this will also be a very familiar matchup for Russia. And our very own Jen managed to catch his insight on Wolves a little bit earlier.
Hey guys, it's Jen with Russia and also Vera for translation. Now Russia, the last time you faced the Wolves, you guys came out on top, but it seems like Wolves have improved a lot in Masters. So what are your expectations for today?
上一次面对到狼队是 BOG 获胜了嘛，但是狼队在来到多伦多大师赛之后，好像进步了非常多，所以你们对于今天的比赛有什么样的期待呢？
我觉得狼队确实进步了非常多，但是我们也进步了很多，所以我希望今天可以给观众带来一个精彩的比赛。
So Wolves, they indeed made a lot of progress coming to Masters Toronto, but so do we. So what matters is that I hope we can deliver a good match today for all the audience.
Okay, thank you very much. Can't wait to see it.
They have both improved a lot already, but only one of them can make it to playoffs. And it's time for the results of our MasterCard fan poll because we asked you which one of our squads did you think was going to make playoffs. And you, 53.2% of you, said Wolves.
I mean, it's close, but Wolves taking it here sort of, I think, speaks to how much work they've done on the Toronto stage so far, right? I think they've actually won over a lot of fans. Their close game against Sentinels with taking down Heretics. I really like what this team has shown us.
I really feel like they've absorbed a lot of the Team Heretics fans at this point. Surely, if they're going to take them down, the team that did it to them, it makes total sense. But I'm just couldn't be more excited. I feel like it's going to be so close. It's going to be such a head-to-head matchup. And I'm honestly expecting a little bit of grungy street Valorant at times, just because there's so many mind games in the rematch, and also they've learned so much here already.
Yeah, the vibes are going to be really important as well. You know, we've even heard some of these players talk about how we had to work so much on hyping each other up, making sure everyone's comfortable. And I know Sufat said that Lysol was super down on himself and he had to try and pull him out of a negative mindset. And that's going to be important on the day, especially, Mel, if you start losing, you know?
And I think that's a testament to Sufat's leadership, the fact that he saw that and he's like, hey, like this is what I need out of you. He's trying to bring him out onto the stage. And what better time than today to do it against your fellow Chinese brethren on the stage, to knock them out, but for your team to go forward.
Team Liquid, Mel? Sorry, I just saw the.
Okay.
You couldn't pick, so you had to choose the VCT China logo.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Because I mean, one of them is guaranteed to make it. I had to cop out.
Yeah, but one of them's also guaranteed to lose. So.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah, you know, it's true. It's true. Honestly, I really like Wolf's chances here. I think compared to the last matchup, I'm expecting Juicy to play much better. I'm also expecting a ton of late round situations, and that is where my guy Spring is going to be showing up in a big way.
Oh, yeah, you guys were in different directions, so I'm excited for this head-to-head.
They have my heart, though. They have my heart.
I can't wait to see who's going to be right, because BLG, Wolves, Paper X, and Liquid have already overcome every challenge to make it this far. And if you are in the building, you are about to witness the final fight for playoffs. Day 5 of Masters Toronto starts right here, right now.
Nats's arrival heralds victory for Team Liquid. 1-1 in the tournament.
Unfortunately, we're going to be facing our friends, Paper X.
It feels like they are kicking things into that next gear, on pace to make the playoffs.
So many international events, we've been on the same tournament and we never faced each other. I knew that this moment was going to happen one day. I wanted both of us to go to the playoffs. But on the next match, door time.
We don't really care who we're gonna play versus. There is no more second chances, and I don't wanna go home. So I guess I need to take you out.
The most important thing against them, you cannot let them play their own game, and you need to force your own play style.
Paper X, traditionally not afraid to get weird.
If Paper X is playing at their best, and if another team is scared of us, we are doing something right.
I didn't come here to play one match. Let the better team win.
Wolves now find themselves at match point. Here in the Great White North, Wolves are the apex predator.
我们一开始的目标到现在也是一样，就是想打好我们自己的东西，展示好我们的队伍的实力给大家看。
Billy made a serious go at it.
然后作为一个队伍里打得比较久的人，没有打出很好的表现，确实就更让人难以接受吧。我觉得我们应该会就是调整好自己的心态，全力就是准备好下一场比赛吧。
因为我经常跟他们说，因为我的 character 我是 in game leader 嘛，我是指挥嘛，所以我会跟大家说，就是有我的声音在，就是不用管任何的东西，执行好我们的东西，站起来，一起站起来，就是大家可以再打得再放一点，再兴奋一点的话，我们就会打得更好。这个就是我们狼队的能量。
就是在大赛上证明自己的机会其实不多，我们要争取好每个就是来之不易的机会。我也相信我们大家也可以一起调整过来，扛过这一次所谓的生死战吧。100分100信心，我们一定要拿下这一场比赛进入8强。
就是对我不会想，就是我很害怕要回去啊，或者我一定要去晋级。我们不管面对任何的队伍，都会像我们狼队的口号一样 ，Fear nothing。
Very well, but there's only room for one of them at playoffs. The gloves are coming off today.
They absolutely are. We got VCT CN stage 1.5 in the house right now to decide who is going to be moving forward, and the Omen map select comes on through. We're going to be starting things off on Ascent now.
Yeah, and I love watching Ascent. Like I was saying in the matchups yesterday, it's really a map of who can make the least mistakes. Really fundamental Valorant going to get played here, so that's a great first map to start on, and also going to Split for the second.
Yeah, Split will definitely be fun to see in terms of what we've seen, especially with Wolves liking that map and going for a lot of these slow plays, the lurks. But in terms of Ascent being in the pool, I just love that immediately we're getting a test map for our duelist players in the server.
And it's so interesting because the last time they faced each other, they didn't want to go to Ascent. Ascent was map 5.
Right.
We didn't even get to see it. And Icebox gets banned this time around as well. You gotta think about maybe there's some game plans, but also the fact that they haven't played in so long. I know they did play against each other, but they had to wait the longest before arriving to Master Toronto.
It's very true. All these things going through their heads, but I don't know. I think I'd be banning Icebox too if Lucius Harbor was an option to play against.
Especially considering the performance against Sentinel, it makes total complete sense. On Ascent here, if it was map 5 and the last time they saw each other, and now picking it into map 1, you have to wonder, what are these teams going to pull out? Especially Bilibili, the team that picks the map. Are we going to see a comp difference? Are we going to see a new player take over that normally doesn't? Anything could happen here on the international stage.
Yeah, especially when you have two teams with such a history facing off against each other on the domestic stage. We were talking about it a little bit yesterday with Pacific rematches, but there are so many extra layers of mind games and understandings and playing to those tendencies that you expect from your opposition.
And we don't really even have to worry about what they're going to play because they never adopted any Tejo things on this map. There's no many things that they need to change, and Bilibili have been stupidly dominant if you look at their record on Ascent in the past.
Yeah, absolutely lights out, and it makes sense, right, when you've got a guy like YZ that's going to be playing into the server. I stand by it. I think Ascent is just the test map for your Jett player, for your duelist player. It really is the map where I think your individual skill expression shines more than any other.
And the YZ and Juicy matchup, especially that duelist matchup that we're all looking towards. And I kind of have to wonder, you know, with the history behind Neff and Juicy having played together before, yes, it was years ago, but knowing those duelist tendencies, even that can shine through. The smallest of details can make or break the difference today.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that BLG are going to know about Wolves is that on all the maps they play, really, they love taking mid control because they want to make sure they're always keeping their options open for mid-round pivots. This time, Wolves are going to be starting things over on the defense side, so that won't come into play until later.
This is the comp that we expect. They are so dominant here. In fact, their win streak is crazy at this point, but Wolves know this. They know how to play against this comp. At this point, they've had experience into it, but I wonder if they're going to make some changes.
The Neon is something that's so unorthodox in a sense, something that Bilibili are familiar with, but something that the rest of us really aren't. We really don't see this, especially in Americas. This is something that's completely different, and I wonder if that will shift their focus maybe towards A main control. Although their mid control is strong, I equally believe that A main is something that Wolves is going to have to shut down.
Yeah, 100%, because, you know, if Bilibili Gaming are just able to just run exec plays with YZ's Neon, you're just not going to be able to really stop this guy from getting into your sight. Again, Bilibili Gaming have been very successful when playing post-plant, so don't let them on your site.
This match will be the definition of friendly fire. And speaking of fire, bringing the heat in the caster booth, it is Uber and Wyatt.
This is the 9th time that Wolves and Bilibili have faced off in the history of their rosters, but this one, of course, has the stakes ratcheted up to 11. They've got to go against each other. Two teams intimately familiar with one another for a spot in the playoffs. So to make it to our next phase of play or go home empty-handed.
It was just during that qualifying run for both these teams that they exchanged clean sweep victories. It was Wolves that knocked Bilibili into that lower bracket in their own qualifying game, where then BLG had to defeat EDG, the all-time best team from the region, to even make it here. It's been volatile affairs from both of them. These teams experience high highs and sometimes low lows because they play a risky play style. But both of them at this tournament, on an individual level, have players firing on all cylinders. When you're talking about Spring, when you're talking about YZ, these guys have been absolutely phenomenal.
You know, we've highlighted Juicy on multiple occasions, starting on the defense side of Ascent. He'll be on that Yoru. It's a risk to pick Ascent because you are giving your opponents that choice of side, and naturally, Wolves say, we will start on the defense side. We will try and build that big lead with this double Sentinel comp to try and lock you out of the map.
It's bold from Bilibili to pick this into Wolves, who last played this comp. They know they have to go up against a powerhouse on defense on an already defense-sided map. How many rounds will it require for Bilibili on this attack to be able to switch over to that second half, be able to close the game out on their pick?
We saw Wolves be pretty slow in that game against Sentinels, especially working the map on Lotus, for example, and others, and taking a long time to start to make a move. But hearing from their coach in the press conference, they've said this change of meta, this move away from the Taeho, is actually allowed Silfat to call some more up-tempo rounds. That's why we saw this unleashed Wolves against Heretics. It's fast-paced play. They got in their face constantly. So we are watching two teams in the middle of an evolution now in the crucible of this tournament.
Everything on the line here. It's been rare that we've had two teams from China in the playoffs bracket. No one expected Wolves to be in this position. They might be able to make it against all odds, defying all of those expectations here.
Time to descend into beautiful, inscrutable Chinese Valorant, folks. Make some noise, Toronto. Let's get this one started.
Early you have BLG all stacked up, headed towards this B site. There is one kill trip towards Logs and two defensive players entrenched in the site, ready to anchor.
Starting to clear some of that Sentinel util. They've gotten their way into this B site. Why are you trying to play from behind this cyber cage? But K9 is dealt with Juicy. That's a play towards mid. Now, there's less of a timer on Bilibili. Awareness, of course, of a play through market. They've got to get going, and YZ wastes no time touching on down, but can't play off the flash that comes onto the defenders. Wolves are stalwart here on this pistol. And Levius is trapped here at Switch. Spring will step up to dispatch him. And all things considered, that's a pretty clean start.
Beautiful anchoring. YU connecting some great shots, swinging out from the back on that right side. Crucially, Subat denies YZ. Those two players in tandem. And YU also kind of ensuring with that swing out that no one could trade onto Subat, who was wide out in the open.
Stupefies!
Some Fnatic vibes. Okay, respect it.
The timing.
Is, he's spoken about how much he admires some of these top-tier IGL's mainstays. That one boasts two of the best that he was acknowledging earlier.
He hopes to join their ranks. Getting into playoffs is a huge next step in that plan.
And now I do want to talk about the importance of winning the pistol round here on defense with this Wolves comp, because the operator is pivotal to getting this double Sensi look rolling. Get it in the hands of your Yoru, post up in different positions early, and then try and route the attackers, force them to want to avoid the op, and then run into all of that stack.
Funnel them into the util.
Yeah, you want them to be running into the trips, and it's going to be so dangerous for YZ. Playing Neon against 4 tripwires could be an agonizing experience.
Double Sentinel compositions. Definitely have what it takes to slow that Neon down, provide that stopping power. 0 Point does reveal some defenders here, but nothing out of the ordinary as far as Bilibili are concerned. But with 40 seconds on the ticker, they've got to make a decision.
You can see them already prioritizing, trying to get some orbs to Neff. You are going to want that null command against the comp Wolves are running.
30 seconds
Get those
left.
Trips deactivated so you can try to get a clean exec later in this half.
The stack up towards that heaven side as Juicy takes first contact, knows now. The Bilibili are trying to push up into upper. He's going to have to work them down. Clutch might have been available, but Spring is handled. Juicy tries to fall back off the line. Relay Bolt forces it back to a degree, and YZ is dealt with, but this is good trading for the attackers now. Lysor is overwhelmed in hell. Shieldfan has a chance to intervene, but Bilibili disperse themselves around the site, and even though K9 gets the drop on Shieldfan, he can't convert.
Oh, that's a beautiful flash, Rusha! Excellent timing to play off of it.
One health, one singular point of health. Shieldfan, I like that. Shock done just away. He's on the edge of it. Rusia with a solitary point of health. Now looks to challenge. The shock darts expended.
Standing ahead.
No connection for Silfat. He himself is low, and there's Rusia! MasterCard drifting with 1 point of health left. It doesn't get any closer than that.
How on earth have they gotten away with that? That little play in the 2 versus 2. That underhanded flash up from Neff at the exact timing. Rusha had worked through window to swing out with a classic. That was a lovely play, making the most of the minimal amount of options that they had in that situation. But where are the trades in the heaven fight? Where are the shots? Nothing is connecting from Wolves.
The relay bolt forced Juice away. And Bilibili got to take these, XV1 scenarios all across the map. worked the map to get rid of that util early as well. Very quick hit over towards the B side already starting to unfold. YU Sufat dealt with YZ. Able to get this Spectre involved. Juicy's dealt with it Speedway now running headlong into Spring and dispatches him with ease.
That's a YZ moment early on. 8 HP. What if I go for more anti-eco kills?
7 more than he needs.
Continue to hunt. Pretty effortless there from BLG. Impressive shot from YU, but no real economic damage done. We were just talking about the importance of getting the economy rolling for Wolves so they can get to an operator. BLG had fully denied that. Cannot believe that they've wrangled the game back immediately in this fashion. Wolves are getting their full buy off. But they are going up against a pretty strong bonus because Billy already have a stupid big economy on account of just winning that anti-eco. This doesn't even feel like they're going up against a bonus. This is a full buy.
Without an economy running, there's no op prospects for Juicy just yet. Posted pretty far forward towards the mid part of the map, but has to gate crash out. Big damage wise, he dinked down to 10 as he tentatively inches into mid.
Super has picked up that Odin, which is still strong on the map. Not as obnoxious with those changes towards B main earlier in the year, but there are still some paper mache walls like this if you want to get the spam down mid.
YZ's sticking to that left side wall, protecting himself against potential spam from Sealfat. Sealfat not shoulder peeking this, he's waiting off another form of info gain. Does have Juicy watching from an off range. Oh, buddy! Finds the time absolutely perfectly. And there's a refresh of the dark cover in B main, so Billy don't walk up B yet.
BLG now lacking their space creator when they want to go for an execute. Some of those trips have been dealt with a bit of that defensive utility. There's still some spread across the map though, BLG. K-Knight is trying to really sell this presence on B as they slowly creep towards A, but they still have to deal with a couple of deadlock trips.
Won't be
There
ready for
are
this.
multiple Wolves players there.
K-Knight can't convert. Sealfat's able to get away, or not! Gotta respect how close K-Knight was, but Juicy at least gets involved. Here from main, that A presence has been neutralized in the dying seconds of the round. There's a plant here from Billy.
How are they still winning these fights? There was very little time left. The pressure to run into the site. Juicy has multiple flashes to try and get out of this dark cover as soon as the molly expires. But BLG, they're playing anti, shouldn't get blinded up.
Turret, of course, firing at that clone. A foray here from Tree. Juicy makes a bit of noise, but the door is shut.
Yeah, they've split up. He has to break it.
Door is down, but it's time that has been bled off the clock. Levius shrugs off the flash, is ready to take the fight. A second one comes in, and Juicy runs into his line. Lysor, the veteran, on the site, gives it a tap. Presents, and he delivers. No stranger to criticism. Lysor's had his fair share of the last couple of days, but in his 4th consecutive global, he delivers a stunning round like that.
He said in the press conference that he's just blocking out the criticism. His team is still behind him. He still has that self-belief. He comes up in a round of the utmost importance. I can't believe that BLG were able to get that so close. It was bizarre. Late in the round, they got so spread across the map. Look at how little time there was. Multiple anchors on the site, and it feels like Wolves coming in a little bit cold right now with the aim. But then Lysor makes me eat my words at the end there. That was a disgusting snapshot.
Hard fought round there for Wolves. It was costly. Does Billy have that economic base to play off of? Had to be a gate crash out there for Juicy, lest he be suppressed by the 0 point.
Look, you can see right now that they've got YU over towards that A side, all the trips over at B. That's standard play when you're facing down a null command.
Dangerous here. Hunter's Fury now coming out from Sealfat. He knows his action over towards mid. Why is he trying to dodge away from those blasts? Levius was handled on the B side. He just walked into main on his own. Lysor turns the flash and there's trade potential, but it's not necessary. Lysor is having one. Last couple of rounds, 4 kills for him. Big impact.
He's had enough of the chatter online, the criticism. He's stepping up when they needed him most. YZ trying to even things up. That Spring caught alone in the corner.
There's another potential double up for the defenders here, though. YU is going to be... What is this? Okay, Annihilation drawn out. YZ trying to play ahead of it. Gets rid of Lysor, but can he save his compatriot? Oh, Rushia! It's too late to save him from the cocoon. Wisey has to play through 3, has the spike to hand at least. The time is not on his side, Wyatt.
Where will he attempt to go, or at this point?
Home.
Probably just save, yeah. Take a stroll right out of there into the attack spawn. Keep this rifle into the next. As you mentioned, BLG, they had that economic base that you get just from winning the anti-eco early, which has applied so much pressure to Wolves, just knowing coming into every single round that their economy is hanging in the balance. It's on the line. They could get eco'd at any, or put on an eco at any time. BLG just really comfortable.
It's a solo walk up from Levius there in main. Good trade architecture set up here. It wasn't necessary in the end.
This is a little mental. But he gets away with it. All good.
Little jump swing.
Got away with it.
Yeah, okay. We are limbering up.
Just takes a gander.
Okay, next time I saw with a bit of feeling.
Yeah.
A bit more. I need some more movement out there. You know what I'm saying?
The VOD review Sentinels. Get some tips and tricks from Zelsis.
Just point at him. You just point. You're around 6 now. It is still Billy with the ability to buy and a lot of ultimates in hand. Juicy. A little disconnected from the rest of Wolves there.
But still, though, I can't blame him. He's happy to try to take these fights when he has the gate crash to get away. But to be fair, he was close to the kill on YZ. Certainly have rather gone for a play like that with the AWP. All right, here comes the null command. Hit coming through. Hey, I love this from Wolves. Double up in main. Try to get a kill on Rusha.
I picked the wrong player to try and collapse on, though. YZ instantly is there. Russia bailed out of having to go 1 versus 2. Great execution and pretty cheaply done. Just the null command committed here by Billy. Can sit back on a post plant with a Hunt's Fury and a whole lot else to play off of now, especially with lockdown being earned.
That was the right pivot attempt from Wolves to get a couple players in main so you could try to isolate the one guy on that split in the for the 4-1 hit, but Arusha crucially just wins out that duel. Yeah, for me, one of the players who has stepped up the most from watching the playoff one into Toronto.
Okay, Zilfat probably doesn't want to swing on this one. Firing squad looking straight at him. And Billy get an important attack side round just as their economy was starting to founder.
Unfortunately, too, in that moment, I think Lysor was pushed up kind of close to B main on the minimap, so when the null command was used, it actually caught onto him. So those trap wires that he had set over towards A were actually going off. And that just allowed BLG to sprint through tree, get into the site for free. Could have slowed them down a bit, maybe helped with that fight that Wolves took in main, but not going to be the case. This is going to force them into a timeout here.
Yeah, it's a real red light shown to Wolves is, of course, they really want to stack up these defense side rounds. That's naturally why they choose to start on that side of the map. This round loss puts them in a little bit of an odd economical position. They're winning these rounds when they do, with a couple of guns, 2, maybe 1 sort of Phantom in play. Now, this has really knocked them down. They do have a dimensional drift of Juicy's to try and play around, who's been quite good sort of playing that solo weaker site. Saw him get that pick up on Levius on that B side early, but then that last round, just a walk up on mid. Pretty standard stuff, but a lot of guns trained on him by Billy. No chance for a trade to come in from Covey.
I would definitely want to give Coach Fade over on Wolves his flowers. There were many moments so far in their series they've had where they've gone to a timeout and he's given them the right adjustment. I think of even that first game on Split against Sen where they couldn't get anything done on their defensive side and then they go on a run after his timeout. He's given them some great adjustments. Now here, I'm just looking at the economy for Wolves. I would be absolutely stunned if Lysor isn't buying an AWP on the next gun round and throwing that to Juicy. That's why he's just got the classic.
With an AWP in hand last round, Juicy likely would have been able to handle.
Did Spring throw him the Sheriff last second? I'm not exactly sure because he had just the classic a second ago.
He still has 3.7, so I think you're right.
Maybe trying to give it to the guy who's hitting harder with the aim right now.
Yep.
Which, listen, I think luckily for Wolves is Lysor. If he's waking up and everyone else can get into that form that they've been in, specifically Spring and Juicy, then we're talking about an even more dangerous Wolves squad.
Undoubtedly the key to the game here for Wolves. YZ gets very far up on site very early. Spring trying to get onto the site, but he has to walk through a fragment. Takes a bunch of damage on the way in. YU playing out from tree. He's able to find a pick here, and there's Rushia going down. They're lit up here by this Toba Util. Wolves taking it slow. Pinkspiel tearing Billy apart. Spike's loose out in front of K-Knight, and he's got 3 guns to get past.
I have the spike.
Dimensional drift just to confirm. Yes, K-Knight is here. And Wolves set up to close the net.
I'm even pinged by the cam. This is a nightmare.
K-Knight still with a decent amount of health.
Oh, look inside that. Oh my god.
Another massacre.
Misery.
This
for
time,
K-Knight.
and this time from Wolves. Such patient play off heaven. Spring, I think, tries to dive in a little bit early there, Wyatt. Caught in some of that KO util, but after that, it's the play off from Sufat's recon util that gets them in there.
Some great pop flashes out of the smoke as well, coming from Juicy. That recon. And you can see even this time being wasted and players distracted from BLG because they're still trying to deal with trips that are on the site. The cages are making things awkward as well. And you see YZ's just preoccupied breaking stuff in the corner. We're already into the next one. Oh my word. And Juicy's picked up the op. Oh, he's just greedy though and gets punished.
Unrecoverable for YZ, but you were right. That save in the last round from Lysor. Definitely trending towards an early op into the hands of the Yoru.
And don't even end up needing that cash when they just recover a bunch of rifles, win out the eco round, put BLG in a pretty horrific economic situation for the first time in this half outside of when they lost the pistol but then immediately won that eco of their own.
I wonder what triggered the use of this barrier here from Lysor. Might have just been arbitrarily thrown out, so it doesn't have much longer to stand. It will be cleared anyway. Gravnet caught. YZ wants to go for it. Relay bolt comes in. Dangerous now. Hunter's Fury, but Lysor is trying to dodge away from it. Now YZ's unleashed. Looking for some connection off this overdrive, but Sufat's waiting for him. Spring's going to be there. Spray under the door just as it comes down. And a Billy are hampered. Down to 2.
Look at this now with their Sentinel down. Pay attention to YU. He's wrapping all the way back to A main. This is going to be a multi-pronged retake. BLG know they need to get proactive, but they're punished for it.
They had to go for it, try and get some more extremity control of this A side, but eventually the Wolves hunt them down. Billy off a decent start, trading, getting the op loose, make the pitch over towards A and are decimated.
Both teams really went for some great little plays there towards Cat. That was some impressive stuff, to be honest. I like that Wolves, when they're recognizing when these splits are coming in, that they need to just be active on one side of it to catch a player off. That was YZ. He was paranoid up, but then he sends in the relay bolt, and they get an immediate Hunter's Fury used to save him, kill Lysor when he's stunned. That is just some lightning fast awareness of how to take advantage of the ults and abilities that they have. That was fantastic. Again, Wolves, their economy is burgeoning at this point. They're throwing another op to Juicy. He went 1 for 1. That was a little greedy. Probably could have just gone out with the one.
Lockdown for Levy is still being held onto. We'll see decent spots to place it, but into a Hunter's Fury round, potentially. You've got to account for that Silver ultimate.
I believe they did get the 0 point onto Juicy in mid, so they know about where this operator is at, and they're going to use this lockdown to try and clear everyone out of B. Still, look at the amount of tripwires littered across this site.
The shocks aren't actually clearing any of that utility here from the Sentinels, Wyatt. So now Sufat can sit back, go for a spray. Sprint on the drop of Rushia. Where is the rest of BLG? They can't get off Speedway at all. Too much sexy util, and BLG disrespected.
Just entirely disconnected from Rushia. Bold to try and get in there with the spike plant. They just can't get out of main. They're stuffed in the choke. There's trips. There's the grab net that goes down, connects onto a couple players, I believe, or at least forces them to get out the way. And then Wolves just flood back in. Lysor is on one, by the way. Another big round, multi-kill, 3K.
But we got to talk about it. There's a massive timing issue there for Billy. They, use that Omen ult to get onto the side. That's always the plan. But Rushia is so far ahead of his team because they don't account for multiple sonic sensors, a one-way cyber cage in B main, and the fact they're getting sprayed down by a node as they try and push out. So there's a massive gap in spacing. And it's just a solo planter for Billy on the site. So far, we've seen them be so good wired at working the map, using the time in the round to passively clear some of that Sentinel util without offering up anything. This time they run headlong into it.
You just can't be doing that against this comp. They were finding success when they were, as you mentioned, taking it a little bit slower and then going for some splits onto the sites. Just a straight up B main rush. I get it. They feel like we have the lockdown, we can force everyone out and then get into the site. They just didn't calculate for the fact that they would be stuck in choke. The lockdown would expire and that would give time for Wolves to flood.
Sound sensor up.
They just didn't realize that there would be such an open window for them to get back in because they would just be absolutely stuffed. Going for rushes like this against the double Senti comp, such a gamble. Such a gamble. They come up so short.
And these floods for Wolves behind Sufat's utility have been sublime so far. They are terrifying on those retakes. So now Bilibili will be humbled somewhat. Forced down to a bit of a half buy. Wuxia with a bit of a variation on positioning there. A bit further back, but it's pinged out by the looks of things. Lysor just takes him out of the game instantly.
He is hitting right now. Aim is on point. Intuition guiding him there. Just got the trip for mid info. Pretty standard stuff. Juicy is rotated to pick up towards Tree. They've really got their eyes on everything. There's such a deep trip in B main that had to be cleared as well. Bilibili do remove both of the trap wires from the map.
Better pace this time for Bilibili. Diligent clearing of this Sentinel stall and info utility.
But even still, with Rusha down, having to hit a site without being able to obscure any angles.
No smokes left.
Brutal for them.
Contacting to an op-line is always dangerous in that situation too, but Juicy doesn't land the shot. He's going to be forced back as well by the 0 point. Annihilation popped here by Lysor. Bilibili have a chance to respond, and they opt to back out.
They're going straight to B. Juicy catches them on the rotate to market. Again, those lack of smokes, just making it a nightmare to play against this operator. There's been a From the Shadows backside entrenched in Spring with Sufat.
And now Spring's able to get into Boathouse with that TP. Extra players to bolster the Beholder, and K-Knight has got to go for it. Caution to the wind thrown, and Sufat brings a stabilizing aspect to take Wolves to 7 defense side rounds.
I mean, what an advantage that is for, got on by Lysor, just finding that spam kill early on. That essentially feels like it just ends the round. You're trying to rotate around a scent against an AWP.
Without smokes.
You're cooked in mid. You're so cooked.
There's almost guaranteed that Juicy was going to have another chance to take contact somewhere on the map. He makes a good rotation to mid. And then this is just it's a very haggard sort of last-ditch attempt to go towards the B side. The round is basically won very early on.
I'm sure Lysor doesn't get a kill without Annihilation, but it just pushes them into B. Force BLG's hand. They're on the full buy now, but it's left them with some awkward weaponry. Specifically, you're looking at Neff, just has the Stinger right now. They're trying to break this trap in mid.
We're going to talk about Neff because those null commands are pretty pivotal if you want to play that fast hit style against double Senti. Neff has not been developing those ultimates.
Now, Juicy had pushed up in B main, left, and now look at YU's positioning. Has this deep trip that he likes to place again.
Cleared.
And then Juicy has pivoted over towards A. They have control of A main because of the barrier mesh.
This is the same spot Juicy held last round and he missed the shot. Don't expect that to happen again.
The setup from Wolves right now is so good. Flash was crucial to get Juicy out of there. Lysor wants to fight, can get back to actually help.
Lysor didn't want to give up the space. Eventually, though, he has to. Juicy just takes a further back line. Relay ball's going to be respected, and here comes YZ to collect. The operator taken loose. Lysor steps up and only gets the one at Spring. Moves out onto the side. Got to respect the fragment, at least gets his pound of flesh. This puts Wolves now. Is Sufat in a position to make use of this recon bolt to spray into the side?
Just waiting to see if he'd even just risk ripping the Hunter's Fury to try and kill the planter in this situation. Doesn't want to. They're definitely going for this.
He's the danger player.
Their money is out of control.
Eyes on this over. YU Cam, that'll be cleared. Sufat spray has forced K-Knight out of the open somewhat. Bolt gonna be cleared. YU, oh, there's a ping, and Rushia is handled. Sufat trying to find K-Knight in that direction. He's considering even diving in for this one. Confirms his location. It's K-Knight v Sufat. A shot, he gets the job done. Danger, danger, but no time for a defuse. Sufat has to walk away with bragging rights and nothing more.
Going to keep that Odin. The kills were pretty sick from Wolves. They really are able to make the most of this util that they've got. That recon again gets so much value. Neither player able to break it, so YU gets the kills. But this moment from YZ was really the pivotal one for the attackers. Juicy didn't have a gate crash to escape. YZ perfectly places that relay bolt to punish him.
Wolves looking a little different now, with Lysol brimming with this confidence. Look at how he keeps playing forward in trees, determined to actually try and take these fights. Juicy still has the op to hand, but the protocols from Bilibili for dealing with that opping Yoru last round were pretty much perfect.
Juicy has full control of B main. I will say Bilibili are doing a great job of breaking the
double
op in this. Yeah, why not? They have
got the money.
So much money.
Last round of the half. Juicy wants that
Portal
contact.
closed.
What a timing.
Gate crash expired, so needs to refresh it. Still an opportunity to take that contact peak, but I don't know how aggressive Levius intends to be here. Juicy might end up walking into his line. That'll mean the Tyrant can take contact for him. Inching ever closer. Neither player wanting to blink first. It is a stalemate over at B main. Check back in with that one. Levius gets out. Okay, why is he caught inside a Sonic Sensor by the looks of things, but a relay bot catches Lysor in main. Off the line in B. No encounter there, but Rushi has dealt with him. That's your controller down. Midway through the round, Levius eventually wins that encounter. That's the opping Yoru dropped, and YU's trying to rotate him, but K-Knight is already there. Bilibili have done enough to get this B plant.
That was such a fast maneuver from BLG to get over to this B site. That was a moment again where they were lacking smokes from Rusha, no dark cover to protect them when they had to cross through mid. But K-Knight wins that duel and Levius cracks the site open. What a high impact kill on that lurk.
200's Furies in the pocket for both sides. Okay, here comes the attack side one first. K-Knight looking to scout, see where this retake might originate from. He's found nothing. Sufat wants to try and light up with a recon and then make the play instantly into Boathouse. This is looking dangerous. Already get hit. Lysor handled those springs, trying to get ahead of the action. It's all on Sufat now. Standout player for Wolves. They can't do enough to get in that 8th round. And then we get to the end of the half. Bilibili have been able to produce 5 attack side rounds.
But they're going to absolutely be happy with getting 5 here against this composition on defense. It could be a nightmare to play against, and they've really done a great job.
YZ and Sufat headlining the fight so far between these two. It's a 2-round gap heading into the second half of Ascent. Win and advance, lose and go home. We'll be back after this. Coming back just ahead of the round 13 of this first map, we've got your Coinbase Econ report for you. A couple of players we really want to highlight as individuals that are getting max value.
Enough value out of everything he's spending because he's getting so many great opening kills that his Econ report is always still looking good despite his crazy aggro playstyle.
He actually has the least number of deaths on his team, so less of those rebuys being required. And he's been a big part of being able to dig Juicy out of some of those entrenched off positions where he's trying to take contact. They played around it very well, and as a result, Juicy has a quieter defense side on this Yoru.
It's really the first time in this entire tournament that Juicy and Spring are the ones who you're going to need to activate to win out this game. Lysor playing so well, IGL, Sufat doing it all individually and leading the team here. Intentions of going to this B side early from Wolves.
Big damage taken by Lysor early, but it's YU pushing down Speedway. Look at the pace here from Wolves. We talked about them adapting to go a bit more up-tempo. This attack side pistol exemplifies that. Neff just caught red-handed. Util in his grasp, and YZ takes a little bit too long to find that kill, allows Spring a third. And now he's going to have to do it in a 1v4.
We said his name, and Spring has appeared in this round. He gets a pivotal 3K. That paranoia connecting for an easy kill on lane to open things up feels absolutely impossible for YZ here. There's no way this should be winnable.
Right, they'll be starting to hound at YZ. in the next few moments, and he knows he has neither the time nor the wherewithal to clear out Wolves. And there's the pistol picked up by the attack side.
And even in just this first round, you're going to see something that will become a consistent theme if Wolves are able to get into the sites pretty much, you know, I'm not going to say for free, but if they can get into the sites easily and then get all of the sensitive utility down, Deadlock will thrive on attack when she's alive, she's in the site. You can get that barrier mesh, which is usually going to be used at the door, which it was in that round. You get your sonic sensors placed as well. Those are the situations where she's going to be high impact on attack, or, you know, syncing up some of those grav nets.
And normally the double sentinel composition in the past with Jett was pretty flashlight and had to use that controller util to take map space, but we know that Juicy comes packing a couple of flashes. Billy opted for a pretty far forward B main presence. Maybe look towards mid. Control this space with these more appropriate longer range weapons as Juicy draws a bead on Wisey's approximate location.
Here. Wolves just opting to take things nice and slow, absorb any potential early aggression that may have come from the BLG side, but they're playing fairly spread at the moment, not going for a gamble stack.
Does K-Knight dare to push ahead of an owl drone if it comes out? Cam, cleared. K-Knight trying to back off. It's going to get a little bit uncomfortable for him. Oh, Barty, he and Levius take an absolute beating. Now, of course, that smoke over towards that CT side, and we're going to see the walls explode out of B main. Gravnet looks like it did catch up one or more players. And there it is, Juicy eventually catches Neff.
30 seconds left.
Cutting them off there. Just going to call for the rest of the team to maneuver towards this A side. Only Rusha. Stuck at door right now. Are they going to check this? Yes, they do. YU.
So the Ghost player YU. The opener in the pistol round looked great there. YZ belatedly gets to the party. Wolves now distribute 3 players towards that A main direction, leaving Juicy in the site for this expected retake. But what is there to be done? Billy realized it's going to be pretty hard to get any traction in a situation like this. So they sit back, contemplate. Start a gameplay for these upcoming rounds.
They did invest into a couple sheriffs, which is, you know, of note. We'll see how that affects their buy. Oh, they get to the first time round. Oh, that is
bloody brilliant.
Brutal for Sufat. No one watching his back.
Lysol trapped here.
Was.
No way. Lysol completes the kill contract. Levius with the drop on them, though. This has gotten a bit ugly for Wolves. From an economic standpoint, not nearly as clean as they wanted.
That is a bizarre way to try and exit the round. Things getting so scrambled for Wolves, not playing together, trying to get out tree really late. No one watching the flank that was wide open.
I mean, Sufat was, for a time, watching towards that gelato direction, but like we said, it's a Wisey catch a timing on him. It's a stranger Red Bull clutch, I will admit. Because the way was paved early by Wolves in this round very cleanly.
One enemy remaining.
Well, PLG are going to be happy with that. What could have been a pretty solid bonus round buy has dwindled to a tragic one with a Bucky, a couple pistols. Let's see if Juicy can do something with this Guardian. Gravnet, they want to catch someone early in B main. Looks like they want to accelerate too, but the Mollies will keep them at bay temporarily.
K-Knight caught here by the paranoia, up by Logs, and here comes Wolves again with his weaker bonus buy. Need to make something happen. Levius with a quick spray down for 2. Wisey faces down the Bucky and comes off arguably second best. And that's a gun recovered by Spring. No info on where Rushia is, though. Now he knows he can look over towards Spawn side. And you're kidding me? It's ridiculous, Wolves. A higgledy-piggledy little bonus.
Oh,
weird buy for them.
Everyone stood up after that. I can't blame them. It was a cool B-site execute. Even with the Bucky of Spring teleport into that dark cover while they're swinging out. Juicy gets one trade there, in full blind.
One enemy remaining.
And then at sort of the very end there, Sufat continuing his reign of terror on this map, swings out instantly. I mean, there's just no good reason they should be winning that, but they connect some sick shots. And it's hilarious with Spring teleporting it with a Bucky.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And this is now, this is dangerous for Billy. That's the round where they want to start to build that defense side momentum, but this gets Wolves to 10 rounds. And a robust economy to boot.
I I'm still a little bit stunned that they won that. Remember when Billy took all their guns away on round 2 because Wolves kind of tossed, and then they still win with that really bad bonus buy?
It's like 2 ghosts, a Bucky, Spectres in there. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre scenes, but a fast hit to B that, frankly, Billy just aren't able to respond to adequately. And yeah, they flash themselves up through the smoke. Neff tries to get involved out from defense side spawn. Only able to find the one after Levius kind of paves the way. Sprays down 2 with a Vandal. They can't springboard off of that into a strong position, and now it's for an outlaw there for YU, maybe reconsidering. But in general, the weaponry is looking pretty darn good. Might be an outlaw for Juicy. Yes.
For a fairly significant buy out of this, but the, bonus cash, or rather round loss bonus, is pretty out of control right now, so BLG can afford to get a fair half buy into this. Recon going to near close mid, broken by YZ, and they're actually going to leave Levius posted up really deep right there.
Just an alarm bot to catch this. K-Knight trying to play on it. Juicy takes that contact, it's going to be traded out. Good enough for Wolves for now. Shrug off the relay bolt, and they're into this B site. No smoke over towards defense side though.
Here we go.
Something YZ could capitalize on, and here comes the overdrive. He takes a lot of damage in that encounter, but takes YU off the map. Still 3 rifles active for Wolves, and they've got Sufat on the Cypher plant. Here comes that controller util now.
That was such a strange cage from YU. It helped the other team more than it helped him. Double flank coming right now through B main. Wolves fully pivoted towards the site. They could get overwhelmed. This is dangerous, but Spring!
Sonic Sensor there in market, I think, forced Rushia back. He couldn't get involved in Spring. He's on for 4. 2 bloody goods! And Billy with that awkward buy. Yeah, we're up. We're on our feet. Blood is flowing. And Wolves are 2 rounds away from stealing Billy's map pick.
Spring started slow on defense, but has accelerated to 100 miles per hour on attack. He's now tied for the most kills on Wolves. Can't believe he was able to get that double spray down. The players rushing out of B main together. Feels like nothing can go wrong for Wolves, even when it starts. When you start seeing them on the precipice of disaster after YU just goes down to YZ with the weird cage play. All right, Billy, they're on their full buy now after that half.
Cutting through. Might be the last best chance here to stabilize in this map. They've well and truly lost control. Now they're playing catch up. Juicy patient on this, suppressed as he was. Flashes into tree, Gate crash out. Neff's not able to find him. Juicy barely takes any damage there as well.
So as all that utility gets right back to the pack in B main. Drone going to clear things out close. They know that they're safe to start moving into the site. YZ, he wants to fight right now. Relay bolt will cause some serious delay.
A lot of stall util coming out here. White Wolves might need to reconsider. In the past, they've stuck too close to that first plan A they've had and been unable to adapt, but here, they're going to pivot away from B with the insert of YU left behind. But YZ sees him cross mid. He can't do anything about it, though.
Spring had popped that from the shadows to go to A main. Wolves are keeping their options open. That has fully stolen the entire team from BLG. They've bought it. They've all gone to heaven. What a call from Sufat. Pivoting back to B now. Free open sight.
5 pairs of ankles snapped clean off with these map rotations. Wyatt Billy limping to respond, but they're caught outside the map, and YU fells Knight through market.
And now he just needs to get out of dodge, get back into B main. Spike is being planted by Sufat. Means the Hunter's Fury is ready to go when the retake is coming in. They need to get YU here. Great reposition from Juicy. He's going to hold the cross, try and protect his teammate.
YU tucked. Surely heard some of this.
Oh, Juicy fell back. He could
Hunter's
be in
Fury.
trouble.
Oh, what a shot! YZ slides on in, immediately decapitated. Sufat, he wants some information, so the Hunter's Fury comes out, and Rushia was caught as he made his way down. 2v2 now, Levis. Looks like he was caught up inside that Sonic Sensor, though, and Lyso has a grab net where that came from. Now to play off this slowing util. Levius and Neff, time not on their side. They have to make a move. A tap on the spike, and Sufat tries to deliver. He'll cut Neff down to 34, and Lyso just needs to be patient. No time for BLG. And that's map point for Wolves.
They've done it again. What a mid-round call from Sufat. That from the shadows that was used to get Spring over into Wine. It looks like they're going to peel off, but they leave the Cypher insert in B main. They kept their options open. They pivot back to the open site. Sufat gets the Hunter's Fury with the spike down. What a round, what a beautiful call. He is putting on an Ascent masterclass right now, still topping the board for his team. He's putting work in with the kills.
Bilibili hemorrhaging as a result. No round wins on this defense side. No chance to breathe, to stabilize, to take stock of things. Again, they're thrown into it. As Wolves are knocking on the door of A.
Here comes a dimensional drift, going to get all the information on the site for Wolves. They are fully stacked up, wanting to get through A main. How do BLG respond? Do they stay entrenched?
He's sticking it. Rushi there does get the ping. He knows that Wolves are up on him, but how is he going to get some breathing room here? Juicy just overloads him. Brute force solution to the problem.
I don't even know how he killed Sufat. All right, Wolves routed because of that lockdown, having to pivot back. YZ is deep on the map right now, push through. What do Wolves do? It looks like they want to just cut noise and try and re-hit into A. Dark cover is going to cut off Levius. Does he want to get active? Does he want to try to find a kill here?
Knight doesn't have recon. He can't light this up for Levius. He's going to have to be flying blind, literally shooting in the dark. Spring gets off the plant now, aware that there's a player caught inside this wall. Levius has got nowhere to go. He's stuck there.
He's boxed. He can't even move.
And it's on YZ for the game. For the map pick of Bilibili, they won 13-4 against Wolves last time they played. But this is a different Wolves, a different pace, a different gear, a different level.
They are just playing with an effortlessness on this attack. They look fantastic right now.
Brutal, brutal stuff. YZ dispatched. And Wolves with the answer. Gauntlet thrown at Bilibili. You want to pick this map? Fine. We'll not give you any attack side rounds.
And bear in mind, the last time these two teams faced in that lower final on their qualifying run, it was a sweep 3-0 for BLG. And here Wolves have swung right back, stealing away their map pick.
We're going to step away for a moment. Up next, Yinsu and our analyst desk are going to break down this map number 1 of Ascent and set our sights on our second map of Split.
Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Hey.
Let me show you how to focus does. Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Walking past, get blinded by your headlights. Tunnel vision, losing feeling here in paradise. I don't know if I can take it, can we slow it down? And telling me to stay low key and we'll be sweet. Got me feeling like I'm sitting in.
Welcome back, everybody. Between maps, we do have fans from Wolves and from BLG. Give them a hand, please. And now, just like last time, just like yesterday, actually, we're going to make sure here. I'm going to explain the rules this time around because I'm learning from my mistakes day after day. So we are going to play rock, paper, scissors. Do we know the gist of what rock, paper, scissors is? We're going to go on shoot, right? Okay? So before we start, please select your agent. Please get together, see who's going to be your champion to go toe-to-toe in this rock, paper, scissors. Again, it is rock, paper, scissors, shoot, okay? We got this? Crowd, Toronto, we got this? Perfect. Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, let's go. We'll do this quick. So we'll do a best of 3. So who do we have?
Marcus.
Marcus and? Ripley. All right. Good luck, gentlemen. Please go head to head here, and we're gonna get ready on shoot, okay? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! Okay, that's a tie. Oh, where I'm getting trolled again. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! That's a shaky hand. What are we doing here? Is this... Okay, that's a close. So we got one over here. One more. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! That's a tie. Man, that hand's shaking. That hand's shaking. Are we nervous? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! Oh, 2-0 here. Congratulations, Ripley. Still, you guys still have some participation prizes. Let's get the flag from Billy signed up over here. And also this sign from Wolves. Thank you so much. Right fist bump. I learned from this one as well. Right fist bump. Far right fist bump. Let's head on to the next of the game.
Please slow down. I feel like a ghost right now. Wondering if you'll ever come around.
Hello everyone, Jen Lee here with Coach Fade. Fade, congratulations on Ascent. I gotta ask you about the double sentinels on that map. Was this specifically to stop YZ's Neon, or is this something that just happened to have worked in your favor with the new meta?
I'm the founder of the double sentinel Ascent comp, so it's just my comp.
Alright, thank you for your insights. Good luck.
That's my coach right there. That's my coach. I'm back again here on the desk, joined by Ender and Mel after map 1. I personally did not expect that kind of performance to come out of Wolves. What about you two?
No, I mean, especially that second half, it was crazy that Wolves are running away with it. But the way the rounds actually themselves played out, that was kind of the expectation, especially early on. There are so many rounds that are coming down, just 1v1 clutch moments towards the end that Wolves are just getting the better hand on.
I was honestly shocked at how the first half really panned out in favor, I would say, in Wolves, even though it was only 5 rounds for them, because they took a thrifty, and that thrifty could 100% shift the momentum of the game, but they somehow came back and got 5 rounds on the defense and had a really, really good looking attack from my perspective.
Yeah, the momentum shift was kind of crazy in that game. Now, let's talk about this HyperX reflex moment of the day, and it goes to Lysor, who had a lot of tough moments, I think, after that loss, Mel. The fans were really not very nice about his opening debut on the stage.
And I mean, what better way than to show up like this? We were talking about it earlier on the desk. There's so much pressure on him, and his IGL took him aside, was like, hey, like, I believe in you. Like, you are capable of these things, and he's showing it.
Guy's just playing whack-a-mole right there. Sees the little head, knocks him down. I love, too, that Lysor is also just constantly standing up after a big play like that. Yeah. Not doing anything else. Just like
the emoji.
Yeah, I did that. Fist bump.
I love how Siufa is always so hyped for these teammates, too. Like, it's great to see.
And I love them, you know, standing up too. But we saw this quote from him at the press conference yesterday saying, after we lost, my bros helped me a lot. They said to me, Lysor, you need to believe in your own capabilities. And that's what you were talking about, Mel. And we're seeing the change in confidence and the importance of having an IGL and teammates that actually lift you up when you lose.
And I like the fact that Wolves is really not putting too much pressure on themselves. They're just kind of focusing on themselves and their own team, blocking out the noise. I know similar in the press conference, Siufa himself was saying, I don't really hear the doubters. I don't really care too much for them. I just have my game speak for itself on the stage.
And here's the thing, and the map didn't start badly off for Billy at all. So what happened?
The second half happened, unfortunately. Wolves just run away with it on the attack side, even with this double Senti comp. And it came by abusing this B site early on. They win the pistol. Spring has a 3K in that one, I think. And then he has a couple of just absolutely insane rounds to keep this team's momentum going.
I mean, let's take a look at some of those rounds and the clutches as well.
Exactly.
The plays were just crazy. I heard, you know, the audience in here, they were on their feet as well, and they gave them something to cheer about.
And keep in mind, this is the bonus for Wolves. They come into the site and they were using these Cypher cages so nicely on their execs, both to block off some space and also to get some TPs going. But really, it was Spring with this shotgun. He TP'd up into market, that comes back, wins out this clutch in the 1v2, and then immediately in the next round as well. There's a flank coming in. He's not even looking at that angle first, but he snaps over and again gets 4 kills in a row to win this out and keep the momentum going.
And I think a big part of that is the calling as well, getting them into these positions where Spring has his opportunities, right? Getting him into that post-plant spot. Although in the 1v1, bomb wasn't quite down yet, but in the second example, it was looking really good. There were so many intricacies, and I loved the double fakes especially that we were seeing.
Exactly, because we saw like those 4 rounds, those early rounds of just just showing B hit after B hit after B hit. And then that next round, Mel, they were using the Omen ult to make those fakes happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to see where they faked B and then the Omen ult into Wine, faking A. And you look on the minimap, all 5 players of Bilibili completely sold on the fake.
They ate
a
it up.
completely open B site for Wolves.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start for Wolves. Now, I'm going to get a little bit worried for Bilibili because we are going to split. And a couple of times, at least, I've watched their split, and it's a little bit tragic.
Yeah, it was looking tough. I mean, even if you just look at the last time BLG played Wolves on this map, this is a map that was going Wolves' way, and I think that Wolves have actually really liked to play this map. Again, they take a lot of these slower rounds, their lurks and their pivots, their cutbacks through mid, like we just saw in that last game of switching up between the sites, has been very effective at beating teams like BLG in the past.
I mean, they even pick split into Sentinels, and I mean, I'm from America, right? Like, we see Sentinels play split so many times. They're a historical team on the map, and still Wolves pick it into them. And honestly, in my opinion, despite the loss, have a great showing.
If there's one man that might have the answer into this, it is going to be Coach Bale. This is what he had to say ahead of Map 2.
Hello everyone, Jen Lee here with Coach Bio. Coach, you 3-0'd this team back in CN, but in Masters it seems like we have a new meta and a very different pace to the game. So what do you think is going to be different today compared to the regional matchup against the Wolves? 감독님, 3-0이라는 스코어로 울브즈를 상대로 중국 리그에서는 승리를 거뒀는데 마스터즈에서는 메타도 많이 다르고 페이스도 많이 달라진 것 같거든요. 지난번에 만났을 때에 비해서 어떤 점이 가장 달라질 것 같으신가요?
일단은 뭔가 울브즈 선수들이 그 전에 CN 리그하고 다르게 마스터즈 오고 나서 좀 선수들 개인기량도 많이 올라온 것 같고 팀워크적으로도 많이 올라왔고 일단 상대 선수들이 일단 침착함을 되게 굉장히 잘 유지하는 것 같아요. 그에 반해서 저희 선수들은 뭔가 좀 많이 끌려다닌 것 같아가지고 저희가 주도권을 좀 잡고 게임하자고 지금 계속 얘기를 해서 아마 그래도 스플릿에는 좀 변하지 않을까 싶습니다.
Well, yeah, when it comes to Wolves, you know, they stepped up huge compared to how they were in CN League. In terms of their mentality, they were able to keep it cool and keep their composure. And they also had a really, really good form. And when it comes to us in our first map, we just felt like we had no control. So we talked about how to gain more map control and staying calm in the second map. And I think we can put up better performance in map 2. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
They don't have a choice. They have to bring something better for Map 2 otherwise, and they will be eliminated and they won't have a chance even to go to playoffs.
Yeah, then that would be a big shock coming in as the number 2 seed out of China. But the split map will be interesting, I think, because of the questions around what Bilibili Gaming are actually going to be playing. Because previously playing it in VCTCN versus Wolves, they were of course playing the Tejo, but since then we've had nerfs and we got to see them actually play it one time versus Trace in Asia Champs League. And then they went back to play the oldest comp in the book, Omen, Viper, Cypher, Raze, Sky.
Yeah. Right.
Is that what we're seeing? I mean, they just lock it in instantly.
Wow. It is what we're going to see. How much map control can they gain with this? Because that's what Coach Bale was talking about.
Well, I think similar actually to Wolves' composition, both these teams have that double controller and the Sentinel. So you should be seeing a lot of lurks coming out from both teams. And Bilibili, I mean, I'm going to be honest, all logic here would point to a Wolves slam dunk on this map. Bilibili does not have a good record.
I think what I'm keeping my eyes on is how impactful Sky's mid-round info, or Nef's mid-round info can be on the Sky pick. They're starting on defense. They know about Juicy loving to go for the ramp lurks. They know about Spring trying to explode the B site with that lurk warp, popping out either side of it. BLG cannot leave gaps in their defense or Wolves are going straight through the Swiss stage.
Yeah, and they would be making history if they do here.